right? You see what I'm saying? And the new guy they hire will be like, oh no, it's okay. I threw a better blanket, a prettier blanket over our pile of dung. But we still smell it, brother.
Ugh, yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if you get Kash Patel or the next guy who's a little bit better at a cover-up. It's still a cover-up, and the internet's still gonna catch.
Ted Lieu walked into that hearing room and didn't hold back. He put FBI Director Kash Patel on the spot over the long-buried, politically explosive audio recordings of Jeffrey Epstein's testimony, evidence that was legally subpoenaed and yet somehow still sitting in the dark. Lieu cut through every evasion Patel threw at him, laying bare a deeply troubling resistance to congressional oversight at the Bureau's highest levels. Before we go further, comment where you're watching from and like and subscribe. This wasn't just a paperwork dispute. It was a full exposure of an agency apparently too afraid of its own evidence, and one lawmaker refusing to let that slide.
I searched Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan residence, correct?
I believe that happened in 2018. I think there was 2 locations, sir.
It's 2019, and in that residence, the FBI found a safe, correct?
I don't have the catalog of evidence in front of me.
In that residence, the FBI found a safe, correct?
I'll accept your representation.
Okay. And in that safe, the FBI found, correct?
Again, sir, I'll accept your representation. I don't know.
Thank you. It was all over the media at the time. There's a New York Times article that says this discovery of nude photos is disclosed, dated July 8th, 2019. And the Times reports a trove of lewd photographs of girls was discovered in a safe inside financier Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Author Michael Wolff has conducted numerous interviews of Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to play for you a video clip of what Michael Wolff said Epstein told him was in the safe and what he showed the author was in this safe. So let's please play that clip now.
Elected. And I was sitting talking to Epstein, and he said, wait a minute, I got to show you something. And then he went into his safe, and he came out with photographs. They were Polaroids, I think, and he kind of spread them out like playing cards, and it was Trump. I mean, I think there were a dozen of them, and it was Trump with girls of an uncertain age at Epstein's Palm Beach house, where all of the things that he would ultimately be accused of took place. And I remember very vividly 3 of them. There are 2 in which Trump is, the girls, topless girls, are sitting on Trump's lap. And then a 3rd in which he has a stain on the front of his pants. And the girls are kind of pointing at it, sort of bent over, laughing.
So Director Patel, I'm going to ask you a very broad and general question. As you know, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were friends. There are, of course, photos showing Donald Trump together with Epstein, correct?
I don't have the entirety of the photographs, but I think they've been photographed in public together.
All right. Are there any photos showing Donald Trump with girls of an uncertain age?
No.
How do you know that?
Because that information would have been brought to light by multiple administrations and FBI investigators over the course of the last 20 years.
Well, you know what? That's just not true, because no one knew about the creepy birthday message that Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein until the Wall Street Journal disclosed it, and then all of a sudden, the Epstein estate provides it to Congress.
Well,
so certainly, you weren't there at the search. You don't know what Epstein may or may not have done with those photographs even prior to the search. Maybe someone has it. Maybe the Epstein estate has it.
You raise a great point.
So I'm going to ask you, have you asked to talk to Michael Wolff?
You raise a great point. I haven't personally asked to talk to Michael Wolff.
Has the FBI asked?
But the FBI, I'll get back to you if the FBI specifically
so Michael Wolff has
ever.
About 100 hours of testimony of Jeffrey Epstein. Wouldn't it be good for the FBI to interview Michael Wolff?
I'm not saying they haven't. I just don't know.
Has FBI subpoenaed the tapes that Michael Wolff has conducted of Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know.
All right. So if you could provide us an answer, that would be terrific.
Sure.
Well, let me ask you this question then. Have you looked at all the photos in Epstein files?
I have looked at all the information that the investigators who investigated this case have provided to run out credible leads.
And in the Epstein file, was there that creepy birthday message that Donald Trump had written to Epstein?
No, that's what I was trying to tell you. You raise a great point. The estate of Jeffrey Epstein has a voluminous amount of information that they have not released before.
Okay, so that's great. So wouldn't it be great if FBI subpoenaed the estate of Jeffrey Epstein for all that information?
The estate is under no obligation to provide that material, even pursuant to a subpoena. That's a great point.
Yeah, that's just false.
Okay.
That's just false. You're the frickin' FBI. You can subpoena the information from the estate, and you better do that.
That's literally not how it works.
I'm going to move on now and talk about Epstein's client list. You confirmed that it exists. Attorney General Pam Bondi confirmed earlier this year that it exists. So I just want to ask you a simple question. Is Prince Andrew on Epstein's client list?
The material related to Prince Andrew has been made public.
Is Prince Andrew on the client list?
We have released the index of names
All right,
that were in Jeffrey Epstein's.
Is Donald Trump on Epstein's client list?
The index has been released, and the index will speak for
So I'm
itself.
just going to say, America is a huge red flag. The FBI director could not answer
Gentlemen.
whether Donald Trump was on Epstein's
Gentleman's time
client
has
list.
expired.
I
Chair
yield
now
back.
recognizes the gentleman from Virginia.
And then it got worse. Kash Patel was forced to confirm on the record that investigators discovered a Manhattan safe filled with photographs of girls. And yet, even that admission couldn't prepare the room for what came next. Lieu pivoted straight to Donald Trump, and the temperature in that hearing room dropped. He raised allegations of unreleased photographs from Epstein's Palm Beach estate, reportedly showing Trump alongside young girls, including one image with a particularly damning detail. And he demanded to know how Patel could definitively deny the existence of evidence his agency hadn't fully pursued. Patel dodged every single time. When pressed on whether Trump or Prince Andrew appear on Epstein's confirmed client list, deflection. When challenged on why the Bureau hadn't subpoenaed the disgraced financier's estate, legal impotence suddenly and conveniently discovered. When asked about seizing Michael Wolff's interview tapes, or investigating Trump's documented birthday message to a convicted predator. More sidesteps, more carefully rehearsed non-answers. What that hearing exposed wasn't just one director's evasiveness. It was the portrait of an agency that appears far more committed to shielding politically powerful figures than to unearthing the full truth of Epstein's empire.
Kash Patel's covering for Trump and all the other people who want to cover up the Epstein files. If you fire Kash Patel, then he no longer has incentive, presumably, to not cover for you, or to cover for you, right? So I'd be most worried about firing Dan Bongino, because it feels like Dan Bongino, the minute he's out of that office, is gonna blurt out something. Because every once in a while, he'll be like, I can't tell you what's happening. And he's like sweating up a storm, but it's horrific.
But
I'll never be the same, right?
Bongino has been kind of playing his cards right, though. I haven't really heard much from him.
He went into a witness protection
He
program
did, he sure
because he's
did.
like, man, I don't want to get stuck with all this garbage.
Yeah.
And so my sense is he's thinking, are we lying to you guys? Of course we're lying to you guys. And so I'm going to try to minimize the damage for my career and go hide, right? And Kash doesn't know anything. He's like, oh, hey, daddy says I'm in charge. So yeah, I'll do whatever you want, daddy. They're gonna throw you under the bus at some point. But I don't know why they're leaking against him. Are there any pro-American people inside the Trump administration that would bother to be against Kash Patel? So I wonder if they leaked it just so they could call it fake news, but now I'm getting too conspiratorial. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think that it's made up that Trump is considering firing Kash Patel.
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea for him. Okay, I do.
You think firing Kash Patel is
Yeah.
a bad? Why? Why would you think that?
Not because Kash Patel's doing a good job or I like it, no way. No, because he's a liability if you fire him. He's doing everything you want. He's covered up every single thing you wanted him to cover up. That's his job.
I know, but if the base doesn't like him.
So what? The next guy you have is also going to cover it up. And you think that he's going to do a better job of covering it up? There is no good way of covering it up.
Do you think Kash Patel has done a good job of covering anything up?
No, but my point is, anyone in that role, there is no good way of covering it up.
We're paying these people salaries. Like we're paying Kash Patel's salary.
So look, I hope, so let me be perfectly.
We live in hell. We live in hell.
Let me be perfectly clear. I hope he fires Kash Patel for a number of reasons. Does Kash Patel deserve it? Of course, okay. But more importantly, I think both Patel and Bongino are a ticking time bomb for this administration because they now know things. And if they get thrown under a bus, Kash will probably still be a good boy, right? As long as he has that girlfriend and
She'll keep him in line.
And some sort of job that they give him afterwards, right? To appease him. But somebody that they fire is one day going to turn around and go, all right, I'm just gonna say it, right? You see what I'm saying? And the new guy they hire will be like, oh no, it's okay, I threw a better blanket, a prettier blanket over our pile of dung. But we still smell it, brother.
Ugh, yeah.
So it doesn't
do.
really matter if you get Kash Patel or the next guy who's a little bit better at a cover up. It's still a cover up, and the internet's still gonna catch.